Hi everyone, so thanks very much for joining us again today. I'm here with an alum from our Jordan Modernization and Social Change program. Noah, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Noah Morrison. I studied abroad spring 2016 with Jordan Modernization and Social Change. And I'm a Middle Eastern Studies major from Swarthmore College, about to go into my senior year.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. I will jump right into the questions here. So as a Middle Eastern Studies major, there are many options out there to study abroad in Israel or Jordan as well. But what made you choose Jordan, and what made you choose SIT as your semester for study abroad?
Honestly, I was in between. Basically, I wanted to go to Lebanon, but my school wouldn't approve it. Wanted to go to Beirut. So I thought, I want to stay in the region. I want to learn like Levantine Arabic. So I decided Amman would be the best fit for me in terms of that. And then SIT just had a great looking program. I knew I wanted to do homestay because I wanted to like improve my cultural knowledge in ways that I couldn't have without the homestay. Yeah, and also improve my Arabic in ways that I couldn't have without the homestay. So I think, yeah, number one factor in me choosing SIT was the homestay program. And number two was good reviews that I'd seen from my study abroad, from people that had previously studied abroad in my study abroad office. It just had a good rep.
Excellent. That's very good to hear there. So you mentioned homestay as a very important aspect for you. If you had to name an aspect of the SIT program there in Amman, as your favorite, would it be the homestay component, or were there other aspects that you found intriguing and drew you to the country and the program?
Initially, it was the homestay, the prospect of living in like a big city where I could have, you know, a nice amount of freedom, freedom of movement and freedom to meet people and freedom to do my own thing. As well as, yeah, the strength of the Arabic program, which is like on par or sometimes even better than what I would get at Swarthmore. Yeah, I think initially though, yes, it was the homestay, and the fact that it had gotten such good like rave reviews from previous students.
Did you come into the program with any Arabic already?
I had done a year and a half in school, but just purely Fusha, purely modern standard Arabic. So with a little bit of Amiya, like interspersed, a little bit of local Levantine dialect, yeah, dispersed in there. But mostly, yeah, I couldn't, in the beginning, I couldn't really communicate. But obviously by the end, I got really good. It was nice. Yeah, 4 months.
That's great to hear. Do you still communicate with your homestay family from Amman?
I talk to them on Facebook from time to time. I miss them a lot too, yeah. I think being there has made me, or spending a lot of time there and making like really strong connections has made me very intent on like keeping up with my promise to go back to my homestay family and to like all my friends there and stuff.
That's great to hear. So changing topics a little bit, a big part of SIT study abroad semesters is the independent study project at the end of 4 weeks independent research, which I'm sure you look back now with fondness, but do you want to tell us a bit about what you researched, how you did it, and whether or not you're continuing that now that you're a rising senior for Swarthmore?
Sure. So, all right, I'll give the long story. Basically, I had no idea what I wanted to research for a while. Like many of my peers in the program, we were all kind of confused. And And then as the program kept going, we got these, this one of our classes involved like a bunch of talks that we would keep getting about the country, politics, the culture, modernization, social change, like the themes of the program. And as these kind of seminar-like style discussions kept progressing, people would figure out what they wanted to do for the ISP. And I was scared. So it was like, nearing ISP time, and I was still pretty confused as to what I was doing. After all these incredible talks that we would get, I was still pretty confused. And then towards the end, we got a couple talks in the field that I actually like. I'm very like gender and sexuality studies, which I'm pretty interested in. And I think because of we got a talk from the head of the Women's Center at the University of Jordan, who actually, she became my advisor in the end. And that really kind of inspired me to do my research on masculinity and like perceptions of manhood in Amman for a month. Yeah. Okay.
And now that you're back at Swarthmore with a Middle Eastern Studies degree that you're pursuing, do you continue the thematic studies or regional studies there at Swarthmore? How do you use your degree at or your time spent at SIT now that you're back home at your home university, if at all?
No, in so many ways I think I will. Just the very fact of having done like intensive month-long research, having done interviews, having kind of like poured over intricacies of like methodology and like how to go about doing research, and having failed in a number of ways in doing research. I believe the next time I do it, which is I have to write a thesis, so I have to continue in some way. I believe, yeah, the next time that I do it, I'll be much, better off because of this kind of, I don't know, extremely, they kind of throw you into the water. They give you a lot of preparation in terms of, we have a whole class on research methods and ethics. But when you're out there in the field and you're interviewing people, it's hard, especially for the first time. It's very difficult.
Another language as well.
And yeah, in another language, and as well as you can communicate, speaking with someone or dealing with someone on that, like a research, participant basis in another language involves cultural factors that you could not possibly take into account before you begin that interview. So it's difficult. And my goal, if far-fetched, is to continue this research in some way, and hopefully write, my thesis on it, except because I went back to Philadelphia for the summer. I didn't stay in Amman. Mm-hmm. But if I can get back before I graduate and continue some research or somehow do it remotely, it'd be ideal. Because I love it. I love it again. Yeah. I think it's pretty important.
Something very, very important and interesting, no doubt. So now, to change topics a little bit, I'm going to steer you in a different direction here. Even though you're at one of our big regional centers there, you saw that our programs are intentionally kept small, so you can have a very personalized experiential learning environment there. So on the one hand, that does help the students' academic experience, but on the other hand, it means a lot of people don't really know what SIT is about. So how would you explain SIT in 2 or 3 sentences to someone who has never heard of us?
Well, it'd be hard for me. I've been speaking with my friends that went on other SIT programs. And in speaking to them, I realized that SIT has a variety of different styles with some across the board similarities. So yeah, they keep their programs small. Their teachers, in our case, are very well experienced, highly experienced, knowledgeable about students' needs, where they come from in terms of educational backgrounds. And in the SIT, Jordan Modernization and Social Change, in that case, the teachers, they were just fun. Like they knew we were, trying to get a really good education, but also have a lot of fun with learning. We're in a new environment. We're experiencing a lot of we're experiencing a lot of culture shock and all of that. And I think the SIT, the program itself, and the teachers within the program, and the academic director all helped us mitigate those feelings in a way that translated into fun activities, having us interact with the environment on a daily basis, and also delving pretty intensely into the academic side of things. Yeah.
That's great there. I'm glad you had such a fulfilling time while you were in Jordan. So now, as the last question I usually like to ask our alumni is, if you could say one thing to prospective students who are out there deciding whether or not they want to study abroad in general, or in the Middle East, or in Jordan, or on your program, if you could say one thing to them that would help motivate them to press the apply now button, what would you say? Or what would you wish someone had said to you?
I guess just kind of lean into your apprehensions, try to figure out why you're apprehensive about something, and really think about it. Think pretty deeply about why you're apprehensive about going somewhere, or why you're apprehensive about studying abroad, why you're apprehensive about leaving someplace or moving on. And after thinking deeply about it, think about, I don't know, yeah, just figure out like how you can move from there, how you can move on from there. And if you feel like you want to go out and experience a new place, you want to go out and experience a new culture, and try to understand how people work more outside of whatever kind of smaller environment that you're in, or a different environment that you're in, you should go do that.
All right. Well, I want to say thank you very much for taking time this afternoon, and I wish you the best of luck as you enter your senior year there, and make sure you keep in touch, okay? We always like to hear where our alumni are and what they're doing.
Thanks so much, Ian.
You're welcome. You have a good afternoon.
You too.